Hey everybody, it's Sean. In the previous video, I walked you guys through how to place type into InDesign and style it using character styles and paragraph styles so that you'll have consistent type formatting across your projects. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this callout using a custom shape, some transparencies, as well as new text formatting options. We're also going to go over formatting our folio tabs because I left that out of the previous video. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. So I'm in my example file here, but I'm going to cut back over to our working document. And because it's the quick and easy thing to do, we're going to deal with our folio tabs first. So to deal with the folio tabs, what we can do is we can Command A to select them, and we can come over to paragraph styles, and we can actually just apply our body copy to it if you'd like, and we can hit the right align and it will snap it over to the right. I also would like these to be a different color, so I'm going to hit Harriet Meets Red, and that can be our right hand folio tab. Now, one thing you might notice is there is a plus icon now next to our paragraph style. That's not ideal when you're working in large documents. You want everything to be as properly formatted as possible, but considering this is such a small element of folio tab, and once you have them set, you're probably not going back to adjust them, this plus icon doesn't really matter a whole lot. But what this means is there are overrides. I just right-clicked on it to figure that out, and overrides can be really tricky. So if you've gone in and you've made any adjustments to parameters that your paragraph style had set out, it will create an override, or it'll create an override adjustment essentially. And if we hit apply body copy clear overrides, all of a sudden it will snap back to what our body copy formatting should have been originally. If we right click and hit redefine style, what you'll notice is, oh, the plus sign went away. Hey, that's kind of good, except it's not really that good, because if we go and look at page 3, oh my god, what happened to all of our body copy text? So I'm going to undo that. And now let's go back to paragraph styles. And you'll notice that there is the override icon there again. So just something to be mindful of, something to be very careful with when you're dealing with paragraph styles and character styles is overrides. I just wanted to sort of bring that to your attention. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to apply body copy. I'm going to apply the red color that we used, and I can leave it left aligned because that's fine. And now if we go back to pages and we look at page 3, we should have a folio tab right down there. So that looks pretty good. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is our callout. To do that, what I want to make sure that we've been working on properly is organizing our layers. So if we are on page 2, you can see, oh look, there's our knife, but I completely forgot to organize all of my type. I just want to make sure everything is nice and in its place for when we actually get going on some of this more complicated shape stuff. So what we can do is we can create a new layer. I'm just going to double click. I'm going to call this text. Okay. And I'm going to click and shift click down to select all of my text boxes. I'm going to drag them into the text layer, and now you'll see everything is nicely organized. And same thing for pages 4 and 5. Everything is just on the imagery layer. Just going to click and drag it into the text layer, and yeah, everything's good to go. The folio tabs are actually on the imagery layer as well. So let's just come up into here, hit layers, and we can call this master page elements. Okay. And we can drag these guys into our master page elements, drag that underneath so it's below everything. And voila. So what I would like to do, the reason why we did that is because it's going to be really tricky to create a text, a callout, a custom shape on top of an image that is constantly selectable. So I want to lock the imagery layer, and now I can't touch it. So it's just going to make our life a little bit easier. See how organization is really useful? I'm going to come up to our text layer, and I'm going to create a rectangle. I'm going to draw that rectangle. I want it to come out to the third column, should be good. And instead of this tan color, I want it to be our gray color. And I'm going to zoom in. Command plus and minus obviously is zoom in, for those of you who aren't aware. And you'll notice that there is this little yellow rectangle here. So if you click on this yellow rectangle, it says click to edit corners. Just click it once. And if we hover over it one more time, it says drag to set corner size, option click to change shape. So let's first drag to adjust corner size. And what you'll notice is you can start getting rounded rectangles depending on how far out you want to curve the corners. If we just Command Z that and snap it back to a rectangle, if we hit Alt Option, it changes the shape. So you can get these cool pixelated sort of corners. You can get sheared off angled corners. You could get straight edge cut out corners. You could also get things that kind of look like ticket stubs from back in the day. And you can drag these and adjust the shape width of everything. Or you can snap it back by, you can click Alt Option again, and it will snap it back to a rectangle. Now, if I only want to adjust the one shape, you click and drag while holding Shift, and it adjusts the one side. So I believe that I wanted it to be rounded on top like that. Looks good to me. And now if we come up to Window and we look at our effects panel, you'll notice that under Effects, you have your option for blending modes. Blending modes or transparencies are just as useful in InDesign as they are in other programs. I would like this to be probably screen. Maybe not screen, maybe soft light? No, soft light's too transparent. You kind of have to play around a little bit, find what works for you. Hard light seems to be nice. And you can adjust the transparency here. I like to use my arrow keys rather than the actual interface. I just find the interface is a little bit clunky. I'll make this 90. And I want to extend this a little bit more as well. Great. So you'll notice our rectangle goes off onto the bleed. It sits well within our margins. The other thing that I actually just noticed with this image while we've been sitting here is that it does not extend to the bleed. I made that mistake. So just give me 1 second here. I'm just going to unlock the imagery layer and I'm going to just extend this guy out and double click and then hold Command Alt Option Shift and click and drag him so that he's a little bit larger, just so that he goes past the bleed. Alright, that looks good to me. And we can lock our imagery layer one more time. Wonderful. So, the last bit of type that we have to place in here is this callout, Meet Ben. So I'm just going to highlight it all, copy, come into here. I'm going to make sure I'm on my text layer. And I'm going to click and drag out a text box, probably about that big. I'm going to paste the text. And this time I'm going to use the subtitle paragraph style, but I'm going to change it ever so slightly. So by using subtitle and then clicking new paragraph style, you'll notice that you get this option here called based on subtitle. This is pretty useful because it will take all the character formats of the subtitle, but you can make some minor adjustments. So I know that I want it to be Roboto Slab instead of just Roboto. Indents and spacing, I can get rid of the space after. There's no paragraph here that I need to worry about. And I think under basic character formats, I just want this to be a little bit bigger since it is a call out. It can stand to be a little bit larger, and the leading can be a little bit larger as well. Let's just make that an even 20 for argument's sake. We can hit OK. Using our selection tool or V on the keyboard, we can just drag this guy down into our call out. And I'm going to use W to switch over to preview. One thing I forgot to uncheck was the underline option. So under basic character formats, uncheck underline, and then I need to rename this to callout. And we can hit OK. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. I think that that's fairly legible. You get a little bit of that texture showing in underneath it. And this is still fairly, understandable about what's trying to happen. It's in line and in theme with everything. And now that I think about it, this kind of looks like the edge of a knife. Subtle little hints in there. That's probably me reaching for the stars, but whatever. So that is creating a basic shape and also working with transparencies in Adobe InDesign. I'll catch you guys in the next video.